The park only allows ice skating and ice fishing during daylight hours. Reporting live in Columbia, Hailey Jennings, KMU8 News. Thankfully, none of the 11 people were hurt today, but they did lose 2 cats in the fire. This is only Mizzou's second Giving Day, but it could be a little more important this time around. With the most recent budget cuts, any donations can help. Although people are able to say their opinion on this proposal, the final decision comes from behind that desk and is for the commission board to make. These birds aren't staying put. If you take a look behind me, you wouldn't be able to see these birds from the road. You would have to come near the lake or live on a private property. For now, the ice could be having a meltdown. The weather is warm today, but that doesn't stop preparation for ice training. In Boonville, the school's phones have been lighting up with homesick calls. The break-ins happened in the Park Village mobile home park in northern Columbia. Thieves hid David Warden's 4 cars in 3 different break-ins over the past 2 weeks. He even has proof of 3 burglars stealing his items. That footage was captured by 2 surveillance cameras located on both sides of the window.
We feel like we have to check the cameras every time we get up. Haven't gotten much sleep. We've tried to stay up as late as possible to kind of try and deter anything. We have lights all around the house. They pretty much light up the whole area. That doesn't seem to deter anybody.
Burglars took credit cards, money, and tools, breaking his car locks and shed. Burglars even broke the lights and cut a hole in the fence to enter. One neighbor said it would have been helpful if the landlord warned everyone
to be more aware of it, so that way you just know.
The incidents happen in Columbia, but Boone County has tips to prevent them.
Lock your vehicle. That will go a long way toward deterring a thief. Many times a thief will just go through a subdivision looking for unlocked vehicles, and then they'll rifle through the car looking for cell phones, laptops, even parking meter change.
Warden wants burglars to
please stay out of our stuff. It's our property. We worked for it. I feel that there should be no need to steal other people's property. If someone's working hard, doing hard work for their stuff, why steal from it? I know that we live in a trailer park and people kind of think down on us, but we're people just like the rest of you.
Emily, these kids were so excited. They got to explore entire new worlds, all in the comfort of their classroom.
In the air.
It's a science teacher's secret weapon, a headset breathing new life into old science lessons.
We've seen how excited they are to see the things that they've already talked about, and I'm not sure that we get that same level of excitement all the time in the classroom.
Behind the lens, the students exploring ecosystems, outer space, even underwater.
The possibilities are endless. Kids can learn about content, they can go just based on interest, they can go to places they didn't think they could ever see before.
Allison Whelan says it's a big deal for her special education students, whose curriculum is very different from the traditional classroom.
They don't get the fun stuff. They don't get art, they don't get music, they don't get science.
Jackie Johnson bought the headsets with grant money and is now getting to share them with other classes at Jefferson City High School. The teachers just as excited as the students and ready to conquer new territory in the classroom and beyond.
Just really overall just overjoyed. Like one of our students who's nonverbal started like tapping his foot and was just rocking because he was just so excited.
Both teachers are calling today's lesson a huge success. They plan to incorporate the headsets into more science lessons as soon as possible. In the studio, Hailey Jennings, KMU8 News. Tax season is prime time for scammers, and they may be hard to spot at first. There is no way to block calls like these. That's because they come in as real numbers. A Better Business Bureau spokesperson says, don't be fooled.
Used to be a live person would try to scam people in this way, but scammers have found that by using automated messaging, they're going to be able to reach a larger number of people that they could potentially victimize.
People are falsely claiming to be the IRS and asking for things like money or personal information. Gleba says you can tell by the tone of their voice.
One way you can tell that that would be a scam call is that the IRS will not demand immediate payment. They will not make threats or be intimidating.
The IRS says calling the number back could put you in the position to lose money.
They're a big problem, and a lot of people have unfortunately lost a lot of money. Upwards of $60 million have been lost nationwide to these telephone scams in just over 4 years. So it's a very real threat, and folks need to be on the lookout.
So I called the callback number, and no one answered. Then someone called me from a different number saying they were returning my call. When they asked why was he scamming people, here's what he said.
So that wasn't me. I have nothing to do with the IRS. I am all the way up in Canada, so I have nothing to do with this.
It's a possibility his number could have been spoofed, but the IRS says not every scammer is from the United States. Sanford and Gleba offer similar tips. Don't interact with the scammer. Don't give out any personal information. Hang up and report the scam. The Better Business Bureau website has a Report a Scam link, and you can also file a report with the U.S. Treasury Inspector General. The Better Business Bureau has a scam tracker that allows you to see what scams are being reported in your area. The IRS says if you think you owe the IRS money,
you're going to get something in the regular U.S. mail. Now, if there's a tax debt, you would probably have to ignore several mailed notices before you would ever get a call.
the IRS says even though it shuts down some scammers, new ones are always popping up. Live in the studio, Hailey Jennings, KMU8 News. A soft bed to lay their heads. Humans aren't the only ones who need the feeling of home.
They have feelings just like we do, and they're looking for a warm place to sleep and eat.
And the number of stray animals is increasing. The Central Missouri Humane Society took in 159 more animals in 2017 versus 2016. Crystal McKenzie wanted to help, so she started a nonprofit called Warm Paws.
If I could own all the animals, I would.
McKenzie and her daughter find old tires in creeks and transforms them into dog beds.
We kind of thought, what's a way we can clean this up as well as help out stray animals?
They wash and personalize each bed by hand. The crew at Callaway Hills Animal Shelter is excited for the beds to arrive.
This, for a little while, is going to be their home until someone adopts them. And they need to feel comfortable here and loved here. And I think even something as small as like a bed or a blanket can, give them that comfort of home and make them feel safe.
Mackenzie donates the beds to service animals, shelters, and rescues. She says her ultimate goal is to provide a happy home for strays.
Please, 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 if you cannot take care of an animal, please take it to a no-kill shelter or bring it to me. I will find a good home for it.
Fulton police say burglars broke into 9 units in the same area along Highway 54, and the very location of these units is part of the problem. Police say rural storage units can run into a few issues. Many often have very little visibility or security. Police say larger cities have areas that are gated. In these cases, police are relying on surveillance cameras for evidence.
We have had luck in the past in catching people stealing from storage units, and using some of the video surveillance that some of these sites do have, we hope to piece together some leads and we'll move forward from there.
Police recommend knowing what's inside your units.
We ask people to check their storage units regularly, to go by and make sure the lock is still on the door, because that, of course, is the first sign that maybe something has happened to their particular unit. But take pictures and take an inventory and have a good idea of what's in those units to help us look for missing items.
Circular locks like these are the ones police recommend because it's not so easy for people to cut off the handles. One storage renter who uses a facility that was not part of the city investigation said people should be ashamed of themselves for stealing.
I think that if anybody's doing something like that, shame on them. People shouldn't have to live in fear about their valuables and things being stored somewhere, especially for something that they're having to pay for themselves.
His sister had important items stolen from her unit.
It's really sad. It's sad that people would do something like that and that we have to worry about something like that in the world that we live in today. But things happen.
Police say they are stepping up patrols in those areas. If you've seen or heard anything about the recent burglaries, contact the Fulton Police Department. Live in the studio, Hailey Jennings, KMU8 News.